those are nice. Welcome.
We're back.
Wait, what's the podcast called again?
I didn't
Mischiefs.
give it a name.
It's the Mischiefs.
Oh, you forgot the name of our
Mischiefs
podcast?
Network.
The Mischiefs Network.
Mischiefs Network,
It's
yeah.
been how long has it been since we filmed something?
Maybe
It's
like
been
a
like-
month. It's been a month.
Yeah,
It
3
feels
weeks
so
a month.
long. Everybody's been traveling and busy and
All over the world
doing
doing
stuff.
things.
We have a guest.
Our guest, Mr.
Can you
Ryan.
Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, my name is Brian. I work with Miles at the Volkswagen Innovation and Engineering Center in Belmont.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's all they need to know.
This
That's all-
podcast is
that's it.
brought to you by
Starbucks.
Starbucks, your place to get caffeine. Which episode is this? No, it's the season.
We're in season 2.
Season
2,
two,
episode 2.
Episode 2.
2, yeah. So I
Sick.
think that's episode number 9 total. But yeah, season 2, episode 2. That's how we're keeping track.
Cool.
Yes.
Any good viral moments since the last one?
Oh, he's been putting stuff up on like TikTok and Instagram.
So I had somebody. So this is perfect transition. I had somebody tell me about. Well, I was telling somebody about using AI to generate clips.
Okay.
And there's like a couple of like places out there, and then I think the one that I chose was like Opus Clips or something like that.
Okay.
And I used it to create.
It's like an AI tool editing software.
Yeah, so you can
Okay.
put the whole 1 hour long podcast in there, and it was much quicker at making like phone shaped reels than me.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I love it.
And so this is all just kind of a joke. We're not real people here talking. It's
We're
just
technically
it's
all AI.
We're all
chatbots.
robots.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is
We're
all AI.
generated content from nothing.
Give me some industry people and one random marketing dude and make a podcast in Northern California.
Perfect.
And that's an hour long.
And this is what they came up with. Too bad AI couldn't do any better. But yeah, so I use that, and it poops out some.
Wow.
I like it. I think it's
cool.
great because the person I told was steering me away from it, and I was like, I think AI is mature enough to do this, and
That's amazing.
And I think it's great. It saves me a lot of time.
It's coming for our jobs. It's
It's
Well,
not mature enough to generate images of cars yet. They're still a little
little funky
messed
looking.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's also, does AI have like built-in, what's the word? Like you can't use my brand type stuff.
Oh, like copyright controls.
Yeah.
Like
Does AI have copyright
Toyota,
built in?
BMW. I feel like there's been ways that people have found as a workaround. Like people have been recreating like Disney characters.
Yeah.
Using ChatGPT.
I mean, I know the big thing is like the
Mario
Studio
too.
Ghibli like
Oh.
style.
Dude, I was
Everybody
using
doing
that. I was using that last week, and everybody was like sending me texts like "Studio Ghiblify me." I'm like, okay, and it would take a little bit. It would take like a minute to like render the image, but eventually at a point where I think everybody was using it, that the network like stopped working.
Right.
Like they literally said the system is broken. Like
Okay.
stop
I
doing
think we
this.
did something like that recently with a team photo.
Okay.
I looked like Shaggy from Scooby Doo, which was
my.
mildly disturbing. But then it added a person.
It does do that. It
Like-
will think that something is something else, and then it will like.
Yeah.
It has a mind of its own. Truly.
When do you think ChatGPT or some type of like AI will be used in cars? So as an example, I've got the new iPhone 16, right? It's got Apple Intelligence or whatever. So it uses ChatGPT for some certain features or whatever. Is that eventually going to go in the car?
Brian, you can answer that. I mean, because we know.
I mean, ChatGPT is already in like a lot of cars now.
Yeah.
When I say a lot
okay.
of cars, I mean new cars, like from Mercedes and from Volkswagen. So like you can actually say like, hey, Volkswagen or hey, Mercedes, and it'll actually use ChatGPT and to help generate the response. It's just that you have to phrase it in a way that like that it'll use it. If you just say like, get me directions to like routes, it's not going to use ChatGPT to get you directions to routes.
It's just
Because,
like
like,
directions.
Well, because
Yeah.
it's the same thing with like Google now. So when you use Google, as we all do, it already gives you AI generated results. And a lot of the car manufacturers use a Google based search engine these days anyway,
Yeah.
or something of that nature. So everybody's kind of already having
Is it
it.
Does
something-
BMW use it?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Find me the nearest BMW garage because my car is
Why is
breaking
my
down.
car leaking oil?
Right. Honestly, I feel like that's the way.
Nothing
of where
against
we're going.
BMW. Just don't
Yeah.
flame us.
They're all
Don't-
leaking oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that we'll use that transition into our topic, which is cars, the media, automotive
YouTube.
industry, YouTube, all of the big things.
Social
Pretty much
media.
how the car industry is evolving. But specifically just to social media, as we are social media people. We're on a podcast right now.
Yep.
I never
I'm
thought of myself as a social media person.
You are
You're
now
an
a social media
Jeremy.
person.
Are we
You're an
influencers
influencer.
yet?
We are not to the level of, maybe a supercar blondie, but
Not yet.
But we don't want to be her either. But anyway, in any case, yes. I'm gonna put a question at the table. What was the first car YouTuber that really drew you in?
Great question.
First car YouTuber. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
like who? Like we're gonna stick with like personalities. Who drew you in? Like who was there? Who was the person for you?
Round table. I suggest, Brian, you go first.
Yeah, you go first. You're
That's
new.
a hard one. I mean, car YouTuber.
You can give us a couple of names too.
Yeah.
That's putting me on the spot.
Oh,
Or you could describe it for us.
So this is gonna be like a little bit more obscure one, but probably Micah Muzio from KVV.com.
Okay.
So
Kelly
Nice.
Blue Book.
yeah, Kelly Blue Book.
okay.
So like Kelly Blue Book, like I don't know, back in like the early 2000s, like they were putting out like YouTube videos and reviews about like
Right.
cars and stuff, and it was kind of new. And it was like just fun to watch, like these normie car reviews, and like I'm not like a supercar person or like a performance car person, so
Right.
like this really appealed to me, and I like, watching stuff like from Edmunds and like KVB, all like the very like
Yeah, I
nerdy
remember
stuff.
the early Edmunds car
Yeah.
videos. They're
Yeah.
pretty simple.
or
and-
you know what, like the Motor Week stuff.
Oh,
I
Motor Week.
love the Motor Week stuff.
Dude, they have some throwback.
They
ones
do,
on
It
there.
was
yeah.
like a Motor Week rewind or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
mhm.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
cool.
What about you, Jeremy? You seem like you already have somebody
Oh,
in mind.
Yeah.
So I worked for a startup for a while, and as the startup was starting to fail and the writing was on the wall, I'd go hide in my office at like lunchtime,
watch YouTube.
close the door, and it was kind of the early days of YouTube. But there was this guy, Eric the Car Guy.
Eric
Eric the
Carr.
Car Guy.
You know Eric the Car Guy? Yeah, Eric
He has
the
like
Car
5
Guy.com.
elements.
Yes.
Oh, I know who you're talking
He
about.
was he was a Honda Master Tech, and
Yeah.
had gotten
Oh.
fired from a dealership and had gone out and done this thing. And I just remember sitting in awe watching him replace the engine in a 2002 Dodge Ram in this dingy little dinky shop on jack stands, and thinking, oh, and like
Yeah.
the beginnings of my love of DIY work kind of started with Eric the Car Guy.
I feel like a lot of YouTube in that era really started off with DIY versus this
Yeah.
whole like, I'm gonna go test out the brand new Aventador, blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah. A
yeah.
lot of I feel like very early YouTube was
and before
DIY
people were
content.
monetized, and
It was very-
wasn't
yeah.
monetized.
had revenue streams to go, like Tavares.
Yeah, I feel
by.
like it was like the Tom's Hardware, but like the video version of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
How about you?
My turn.
I
Or
can
do you
go.
do you have anybody else besides Eric? He still posts
He's
videos,
still-
right?
He's still
yeah,
doing
so
his thing,
he had to give up his big shop, and he was kind of gone for a while. And then he started
Oh,
doing
okay.
shorts, and he's back doing videos again. I think out of his garage.
Still
Okay.
Honda Elements.
He's still got the.
He
I haven't
loves
watched him
Honda
much lately.
Elements.
He loves
bro.
them. He just gives them away, which is
kinda
kind
mean.
Are you
of
serious?
Yeah,
He just like buys them all
well, he
messed
gave one
up.
to like his, I don't know, his family, like his daughter has one, I think, and his
Yeah.
son has one, and like I think his brother-in-law also has
So
one.
what is a Honda Element? I mean, I know
Brian likes
Let me
Honda
tell you.
Element.
Do you have an element?
I actually drove here in an element.
Oh,
so
elements
So-
are awesome.
elements
So
are amazing.
What chassis is it? What does it use? A beam? Like what motor does it use?
Sure. So the Honda Element, it was this thing released in like the early 2000s from Honda.
Yeah.
It's
Like
based-
03, right?
Yeah, it was released in 03. It came out like right after I think the second gen CRV, so they're basically the same
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
But it has 4 seats. The interior is wipeable, but not like you can't like.
It's not Jeep rinsable.
Don't rinse it because there's the wires and stuff under
Oh,
it.
shit, yeah.
There's a concept version called the Model X, which is kind of a
It's
weird,
supposed to be like
not
a
to be
beach.
confused.
not to
With the-
confuse
with the current
Tesla,
Model X.
yeah.
But it
that
was
one
like a
you can
beach.
rinse
It was
out.
supposed to be like a beach car, like
Right.
California beach car. You
Exactly.
put your surfboard in there.
Yeah.
And you like hose it down or whatever.
Does
it'd be
yours have the
fine.
table in the back?
It does have the table.
Yes.
on the
Oh,
back.
shit.
It's
And
amazing.
Is it the rally style stick shift, or is it an automatic?
No, it's just the automatic.
Okay.
So mine's like the less desirable one. It's 2-wheel drive, and then like
Oh, they made a four. So it is based on the CRV. So there are
Yes.
4-wheel drive versions of
Yes,
it. Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So
What motor does it use?
It
D something.
no, it uses the K24. So like
Oh, it's
What?
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
It uses a K24
So
motor.
I just
bro?
had it like the engine replaced because the engine had like a head gasket leak. And,
Oh.
Like they're just all over the place.
I just remember the Honda Elements that had like the little body kits on them, and they like from
Body
the,
kits?
Yeah, so you know, like it had like the factory like little wide body thing for the
Yes,
Honda Element.
yes.
Like the plastic fenders. or
No, it was like painted because normally they come with plastic
What?
fenders, but
Oh,
this one had
yeah.
like a painted like sporty version.
right.
Yeah.
So the SC, I don't know
Oh.
what it stands
SC.
for, but like it was like urban and like I don't know like what this. I mean, I guess it was supposed to compete more with like Scion maybe.
Super,
Yeah, I think, yeah,
super
Scion.
extreme.
But, yeah, but this is like an SUV. It's a CRV. Like, why would it compete with the Scion? And like, I mean, the shape wise, it's the same.
It was definitely an XB in disguise.
Yeah.
It was very boxy
Does yours have
looking.
the sunroof in the
It
back?
does not. So it only comes on the all-wheel drive version.
Oh, okay.
Which is
So you got the
kinda sad.
poverty
So you
spec
can
element.
Basically, yeah.
Put the seats down and like lay down and camp in it and like lay up.
Look
You
at
can
the
see out the sunroof
stars.
because the sunroof's at the back, not the front.
It was like the ultimate like California sunset car, right? Like you just like have two people in the back and like
Yeah.
watch the sunset. And
Yeah.
That's what
go to
they
the
told
beach
it
with
as.
Yeah.
All right.
Back to car
Who's
YouTubers.
next?
Yes.
I'll go next. So for me, I guess I got into like car YouTube in like the early stages of like the car reviewer. So it was Saab Kyle.
Oh, so my
And
God!
then-
Stop, God.
What happened
Is
to
he
him?
still out there?
Yeah. So
But his
his
videos
still
don't
there,
get any
yeah.
views anymore.
but like
though.
he
Yeah.
was like the he was like the he was like the inception.
And he had his
Before Doug.
formula of how
He was like Doug before Doug, and he was very in depth, and it was just
Yeah.
really like, and he just blew up. He blew up really, really early on in like the car days of like YouTube.
Saab Kyle 04.
Yeah,
Saab
it's really
Kyle
funny because
04.
like I feel like I watched him from like because he started reviewing cars. I think his family owned like a used car dealership,
right?
Yeah.
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 And he would like just review the cars there, and I would like watch like all of those videos. But then he started to get like bigger, and he started going to other dealerships and meeting up with other YouTubers, and then I think I followed him like all the way to his journey because he was also in like pharmaceutical school.
Yes.
At the same time.
He, like, graduated.
Yeah, he graduated. And I think like as a graduation gift, I think the most expensive car he ended up buying himself. He bought himself a like 2013 Viper. So like the last
Oh,
Viper.
right. Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
He was like an all-American, like kind of like nerdy, like but cool, like kid, and like kind of grew up into like I think now he kind of does like some of like the more garage project like
he does stuff with,
restoration
like
type stuff.
Datsuns or something like that. Doesn't he do like
I don't know.
engine swaps or something?
I'm not sure, but I know like
Is he a pharmacist? Is he a practicing
I think he
pharmacist?
was in the beginning, but maybe not
He
anymore.
works for Walgreens or CVS. Or whatever.
But I don't know. But Saab Kyle, and then I really want to say it was like Saab Kyle. And then later on, other people like Shmee and like
Yeah.
the early days of the hype beast YouTubers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about regular car reviews?
Regular car.
Regular car
Wait, why
reviews.
does
But I feel like he came a little bit later.
I was
Yeah, maybe a
he
little bit
wasn't at the
later.
beginning stages of like
I
YouTube.
was a huge fan until like now. Now
It's too much.
it's too much.
It's just
for
too
me.
ridiculous.
For me personally,
Because he did it as a parody at first, like,
But that's
really-
just-
Right.
but then it got kind of like
but James,
overly.
that's just his personality. Like that's just how he
Just-
is.
oh,
That's just
okay.
who he is, right? So now he's like very like doing like the short format that everybody's also kind of doing, where
okay.
like now it's
Yeah.
like singular videos, giving his like kind of opinions on everything. But he's also like more like American like car type garagey like Saab Kyle kind of was as well. But no, he was really, really cool until we got to see his face.
He's associated with some other people I follow that introduced me to the concept of sloppy mechanics, which
Sloppy
is
mechanics.
going and
Sloppy
getting
mechanic?
like eBay turbos and hacking them onto
Yeah.
whatever to
That's
generate
just
as
dangerous.
as much power as you can.
I mean,
from like
what
$100 turbo.
the
that
kids-
you found on
$100
eBay.
turbo.
The
Yeah.
kids
on
will do
Temu.
this.
Yeah.
Yes,
Shan
my
Temu
Turbo. But so let's talk about Temu Turbos because that's literally all YouTube is. It's like car builds.
Didn't somebody
this
get a
sponsor,
body?
this
Didn't somebody get a
money.
body kit from Temu for like a 812 Superfast or
What?
something like that?
I ain't heard about that one. Brian, have you heard about that
I've
one?
not heard about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Somebody
That
ordered like an 812 Superfast body kit. They had a wrecked 812 Superfast. And they're like, well, to get it new from factory, one is impossible. And then two, they're not a certified Ferrari dealership or whatever, some random auto body shop.
Yeah.
So they just went on Temu and like asked some Chinese factory, like, hey, build us a body kit. And they're like, okay. They wired them 30 grand.
Yeah.
Nobody's like radio silent for like 4 months, and they're like, shit, they took our money.
Gone.
And then
And then
all
it
of a
showed
sudden
up?
it showed up in this huge cargo pallet or whatever, like, okay, and it fit.
It fit?
And it fit. Everything fit or
The
whatever.
Chinese.
Dude is wild. Temu Shein, so wild, so crazy.
No, that's-
Alibaba.
all of those sites.
Oh, I bought knobs for our old Boxster off of Alibaba for like $4.99 because you know the paint peels off of them.
Yeah.
But
They
you know
weren't
what?
factory, but they thumbs up.
Good enough. Good enough.
I saw on the interweb somewhere you can buy like Toyota 86 chassis off of like in bulk. Off of, is it Alibaba, Brian? Did we talk about this? We didn't. But I talked about this with somebody and I was like,
People have seen it,
how?
though.
This is a whole business idea. Because hear me out.
Yeah.
Do you like restamp? So you have all the specs and you just like shape like
no,
basically
they literally
stamp-
they're sending you like the unibody. And I could
sending you the body in white, basically.
yeah.
Is it from Toyota though?
No, it's just a
No.
remake.
It's just it's like a duplicate. It's like
Right.
it's a dupe, basically,
Jeez.
as the
So
kids say.
dude.
I could be the rough of the Toyota 86. We could do it. It's a
How do you
business
get it?
proposition.
Revenue streams.
It'd have no VIN, right? It'd
It's a
have
kit
no
car.
VIN.
It's a kid car.
Oh, it's a
Which-
kit car.
that's easy.
So you could go to Atlanta, you could go to Georgia and get a VIN, right?
can register
Georgia,
it.
they approve anything.
Well, no, you can
This
register
seems
a
so
kit
sketch.
car in almost any of the states except for this one.
Yo, this is like a 3D printing gun. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah,
you
we're
could-
almost there. We're almost there.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It's like
But
a
anyway-
blank. It's like a blank car. You could do all kinds of
You
crazy
could,
shit.
exactly.
Anything
Shit
could be a
with it.
blank car, though. Like if we're gonna
That's
that
true,
like
yeah.
this is a blank car.
Sponsored by Starbucks.
But right, but to be honest, I mean the kids. We already know how Initial D got the kids in love with the talking about kids and being in love. So we know social media has caused the kids to fall in love with a very specific type of car community these days of the fastest, the loudest, or the crappiest and the most destroyed.
I feel like there's no in between. You have to have either
Yeah.
like the crappiest slammed on not a static car, or like the most like your RX-7 quad turbo 4-wheel drive. You know, whatever beast machine that does everything. Like
Just say his
half
name.
mile.
Just
I'm
say-
not gonna
just
say
say
his
his
name.
name.
I'm
Just
not gonna
say-
say his
do
name.
it.
What the hell is his name again?
You don't remember his name? Okay, so I also watched Rob Dom in the
Rob
early
Dom,
days.
right.
Because Rob Dom is from Michigan. And I was like, oh, Michigan people. Also, Vehicle Virgins is from Michigan. I forget what his name was.
I liked it when Vehicle Virgins were like this.
Because he was
the
getting
duo.
yeah,
or
him
whatever.
and Eddie. Because
Yeah,
they were
him
both
and
getting
Eddie.
their MEs at U of M.
Yeah,
I actually
yeah.
met them like one time before
I met them once
on Grasher somewhere at
I
some
met
car
them
thing.
once at I think it was like Supercars on Broadway,
Oh, okay.
like
I
a
also saw them at
long
the
time ago.
North American International Auto Show.
So oh, okay. So my car YouTube thing was all the ripped versions of Top Gear. So all Top Gear, but it was on somebody uploaded them to YouTube.
Oh my
So that
God.
was like my jam. Like during
Not
college, that's
pirated information.
and you got to watch them fast because they take them down. And then,
Yeah. I'd
Then
have
like
to
the
like
next episode pops up. you
yeah.
watch it,
So
and it
like
goes-
somebody would have to re-upload it and it'd be like some like Russian XXX 333 or whatever, and then somebody would comment like, okay, it doesn't work here. Go here. So that was my kind of
Oh.
The
like
secret was to use Daily Motion. 'cause
Daily Motion.
Yeah.
What is Daily Motion?
Exactly. It's
oh.
like it's like one of those like weird fake YouTube websites, I guess.
Oh my God.
And
some weird stuff would be
But
on
like
there too.
you wouldn't have to like watch each part of Top Gear. It would be an entire episode of Top
The
Gear.
whole episode, yeah.
Yeah. So that was
yeah.
nice. So you didn't have to like click to the next part before like autoplay was a thing. So
I would say from an influencer standpoint or like the true YouTuber that I followed was Adam LZ. Very early Adam LZ. So when he was doing
was a
BMX,
skater.
he was
Yeah.
doing BMX and skating videos, and then he was also like into cars too, and started to get more into cars. The only reason why I sort of like started even following him more is because he got a divorce, and then he got like really into cars or whatever. Yeah.
Not you there for the drama.
I was there for the drama.
I love
Yeah.
it when the YouTube algorithm like presents somebody new to you who is, like I hope happens for us someday, right?
Yeah.
Where we're up and coming. Because like my favorite YouTubers, they get popular and then they start making money and then the
You're
things
gonna
they're
be
doing kind of gets
popular.
out
That
of
won't
reach.
happen to us. That won't happen to us.
We probably won't get popular, but that's
There's
okay.
a kid in Norway. I don't know what his name is, but the channel is EMS Garage, and he is what Stretton of M539 Restorations was like 4 years ago.
Okay.
He's buying broken, BMWs from the 2010s to up to 2020, and breathing new life into them and reselling them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's I tend to love the YouTube mechanic genre. I guess.
Jeremy likes the humble YouTuber.
I like the humble
The
YouTuber.
humble.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Humble Mechanic.
Oh, that is a yeah.
That is a
Oh,
YouTuber.
the humble
That's a-
mechanic. That guy's
yeah.
pretty great.
Yeah.
But we, humble.
His
YouTubers.
beard kind of.
Who's the angry guy? Who's the angry
Oh,
guy?
Scotty Kilmer.
Yeah, Scott Kilmer.
I can't-
What is his deal?
No, I don't watch Scotty.
What's
Kilmer.
his deal? He's got opinions, but he also has like really good opinions.
No,
like,
he doesn't.
No, are you
It's-
sure?
Because I think to him, like Toyota's the only car in the world that's worth buying.
No, he talks like some crazy. Like he talked like, hey, if you want a cheap fast car, it was like a Dodge like Charger V6
Yeah,
RT
yeah,
because the
yeah,
V6
yeah.
in it's
I
pretty
mean, that
bulletproof.
should.
Hasn't he died like
He
7
passed
times?
away, didn't
Oh,
he?
he
Like,
passed
No,
away.
he didn't.
he
That's
did
the
it. He's
problem.
still alive.
That's the
Can
problem.
somebody
He
look it
keeps
up?
like
No,
putting
yeah,
up like,
so
I'm dead again. And there's like,
Not dead again.
Not that this
But it-
channel is real big on fact checking, but maybe we
Please
should
fact check that
this.
one.
no, but like, it's like, oh, I'm dead, and he's like, oh, I'm talking in third person about this other mechanic, and it's like,
Lord
it's
have
all
mercy.
clickbait, obviously.
Clearly.
Chris Fix is another who's kind of over the top.
Has he ever done a face reveal? Do we know what he looks like?
I don't think we know because
Who?
every time he's been a guest on other people's YouTube channels, he has like a helmet on.
Okay, so he's keeping himself secret.
I think so, yeah.
That's fine.
But I think some people have like figured out who he is.
I'm sure. I mean, of course,
sure,
it's,
yeah.
we have the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
In
internet
2025,
The internet knows all.
and nobody
Yeah.
is hidden.
All right, Scotty Kilmer's still around.
Okay, praise the Lord.
I would
Anyway.
say the most prolific YouTube person that I started like from beginning to end is still Shmee.
Shmee,
Shmee.
I like Shmee.
Yeah,
Tim
Shmee
Burton.
Yeah, Tim.
What
Burton.
is Shmee? I've never heard of Shmee. I feel
What?
like I'm missing out.
You,
Never heard
The
of
algorithm
Shmee?
has failed me.
So Shmee is a British YouTuber, and I'm pretty sure his family was rich. Well,
He
No, I
says
actually
his
don't know.
family
I'm just
wasn't
nodding
rich.
to
He
seem like I
says-
know.
He says his family wasn't rich and he wasn't like helped out or whatever, but he definitely was.
we don't know. We don't know.
Like,
I
how
don't
do
know.
you how do you own a car in London? One, two. How do you own a car?
Not the bare basics.
How do you own a car in London with a parking spot, which is like being
This is like
you're the queen. You're the queen of the UK. You know what I'm saying? Like how expensive that is.
this is like living in New York, and you have a parking spot in New York.
And he had a Aston Martin V8 Vantage.
That
or
wasn't the
whatever.
first car though. He had.
What was the first car?
It was a Clio. His first car was a Clio. I think it was.
like a cool
Like a-
Clio or
I
like
think it was a cool Clio.
Econobox Clio.
No, it was a cool
hit,
Clio.
hit the Google AI, Jeremy, and find out for us. 'cause
I think it was a
my
cool
phone
Clio.
is
But his,
capturing us.
but his thing is just like
I'm
when
pretty
he-
sure it was a Clio.
When he talks about the V8 Vantage that he had, he says, "I put everything I had in that car." Like he said, he borrowed a bunch of money to get it
He may have. We don't know.
from his dad.
There was like some story that his parents own like a big fashion brand or something, and they always did like whatever. Because he would always go on like hiatus because they would do like a yearly skiing trip like in the French Alps or something.
yeah,
but
Switzerland
it's
or
really
whatever.
cheap to do that over there, so we don't know.
don't
I don't
know.
judge. I don't judge.
Shmee
50. Shmee 150.
Yeah, Shmee 150. It just wants to take me to YouTube.
And then who's the guy? The Stradman.
Stratman.
Yeah.
Stratman is an example of
He slept in his car, like starting out. He
Yeah.
slept in his Audi TT.
and
he like would work. He would like run up and down Rodeo Drive, like taking pictures of like Bugatti, like Veyrons and
Okay, so
Murcielagos and stuff.
let's talk about. We're not gonna talk about Stratman. We're just talking about people.
Okay.
There's different types of car YouTubers, right? We have wholesome mechanics. we have car reviewers.
We have entitled, opinionated mechanics.
right?
Scott
And we
Fix.
have like the mega rich. Like, or not even mega. They may have started
Manny-
out poor,
Manny
but they're
Kobiak.
rich now.
Yeah.
And it's like the newest builds, the newest cars, the people. Then you also have like the hype chasers. And I wouldn't even call them hype chasers. Let's call them hype men. We have people who have big personalities that are like meant for TV, video, and they drag the kids in because they have so much energy. And Stratman is one of those people. Personally, I can't watch Stratman because Stratman
He gives me anxiety.
he gives me anxiety. Don't get me wrong, y'all.
Take a Valium before watching his YouTube video.
Yes, like it works for him. It has brought him so much success, and I'm almost
Especially
sure
his
that's just how
audience.
he is as a person.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm the problem. Like that is too much. Like the constant yelling and the constant going. It's just like you're trying to hold on.
Yeah.
But It works because the kids like that kind of stuff, you know, and especially I don't know what it is, but car Ubers today, the kids like destruction. You know,
The Whistling Diesels.
Cody,
Whistling Diesel.
Whistling Diesel. And there's so many of them now.
guy's-
Like there's so many Whistling Diesel type people out there now.
Hey
and
guys,
I'm like,
I just bought a new Ferrari.
you know what it is? You know what it
a
is,
cliff.
Brian, and you probably agree with me.
What is it?
The Jackass people are now.
Oh,
They all
like
now have cell
Jackass
phones.
the movie.
Yes.
Yes, but everybody who liked
I love
Jackass
I love
and have like
Jackass.
Jackass personalities,
Yeah.
and now that they have like Jackass money.
Hello, my name is Johnny Knoxville. This is Jackass.
Right, and like all it is just it's a perpetuation of
Drive
something.
a Bugatti Chiron off a fucking cliff.
Because that's the thing, they weren't car people, so they didn't do car people stuff. But now it's just like car people doing Jackass stuff, and it's like essentially like all of the moms and dads
But it's-
who
it's-
watch Dukes of Hazzard
It's
with
the
their
thing,
children in the womb.
You gotta hook them, you know.
Yeah, you do, and that's what it is. It's like it's a big hook. It's a
Algo.
big.
But Whistling Diesel is not funny like Jackass was. He's just kind of annoying, if I'm honest.
I mean,
He has
like,
funny moments.
I do
he has
mad
the-
respect for
he has the-
thrashing the Cybertruck.
He has the like the sarcastic, like quick punchline, stiff face kind of humor. That's
Yeah.
like that's his vibe, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm actually gonna like hit you with like
I feel like back in the day, actually breaking the law would like get you more views, but now because of like
because everybody's breaking the law.
everybody, well, the thing is about Whistling Diesel is he
Everyone
has
is
his own
illegal.
land,
He does,
right?
Yeah.
So he does all the
yes. Mhm.
illegal stuff on his land.
You know what it
And
is?
it's totally like legit, right?
Right.
Like I feel like back in the day, who was it? The guy that has the turbo Corvette.
Turbo Corvette.
He made all the DVDs like way back in the day.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking
yes, Super Speeders, Rob Ferretti.
Rob Ferretti.
How do we
I had no idea
forget
about
about
that.
Rob
He was
Ferretti?
the Daily
Oh my
Motion guy.
So Rob
This was
Ferretti,
before YouTube. This
Larry
like he would be on
Casilla.
Daily
He was
Motion.
it.
and Matt
like,
Farah,
oh,
they all went to high
Matt
school together.
Farah, yeah,
Larry
Rob
Casilla
Ferretti,
of
I didn't realize they all went to high
MLNYC.
school
all these New
together.
Jersey
Yeah.
guys, right?
Yeah.
They're all from
I-
freaking New Jersey.
oh
or the
my
New
God.
York
I wish. I
memory.
I
wish.
love
I don't
watching
know.
Rob
unlocked
Ferretti.
memory.
Rob, if you see this, I just want to be your friend. But
They were breaking the law.
No,
like
but
they were doing
the
cannonball
the videos
stuff.
of him like with his
because he would make
police-
like cop chase DVD.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and the law enforcement interaction videos. They were priceless.
There was one. It
These
was
people should have gone to jail.
Oh
like,
yeah,
jail,
like
jail.
the one. There was one where him and Matt Farah like literally are
Who could get a ticket,
faster, and then one was driving the SLR, and he was driving his Corvette.
Yeah, or a Corvette. Yeah.
Mhm. And he like literally drove like on the shoulder while he was getting pulled over. And
He didn't
was,
get in trouble.
He was like talking to the cop. He's like, "Oh, I thought it was a good idea." Like in 2025, we could not do that.
Plead negligence.
But-
yeah, he would have been.
Was
So-
Rob Ferretti the one who like used? I forget the types of mats to like make doors on a Volvo that they built and drove somewhere. Like totally.
Wait,
butchered.
what were you talking about?
This is some obscure YouTube video, and I thought it was Rob
Okay.
Ferretti, but maybe not. Keep going.
Anyway,
forget
so
I said it.
this
They tried to turn that whole thing into like a multimedia thing.
they did, but they
failed
were
miserably.
yeah, because I think the internet was catching on.
One was like one series what they tried to do was everybody bring a car to race against Rob Ferretti's
I
Turbo
do remember
Corvette.
that. Yeah.
And I think his Turbo Corvette just like smoked everybody because everybody else's car broke down.
Right. Kids couldn't build stuff back then. We didn't have 2-second BMWs back then. It wasn't popping yet. It wasn't popping.
No.
But
That's what I watch a lot of like drag racing videos. Like a lot of my early YouTube watching content was just like high speed highway, like Houston, like Texas 2K, but we're gonna do it on the streets in Houston. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo,
those
this is
videos
crazy.
can drag you in. So I'm the same way. I was watching all of the toge, like street drifting, like
yeah.
late nights in Tokyo type stuff, or like literally just them up in the mountains, like day drifting. Like I literally would just go to YouTube in the early days of YouTube when it was still red and all that good stuff, and it was red and white, and I would literally type in drifting,
What's that
and then I
show?
would.
What's that show called again in Japan? Like something motoring.
I don't know, but
Oh, or the where they like
Yeah.
where the
It's all the
people
drift-
they go
drifting
head
people.
to head and do the toge. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, it's like
know,
really
My friends are
motoring
gonna
or
kill me
something.
because they're like,
there's
Miles, you watch it all the
a
time.
league in Japan where they drift Dodge vans. Have you ever seen
Wait,
that?
what?
Dodge vans.
What? Now you're gonna
I'm
pull that
gonna
up.
Google it.
They
But
like-
while
they're
Jake's
like
pulling
American,
that
yeah.
up, they do. YouTube has evolved into car media. Car people have evolved into
they're being invited. They're
Yeah.
like now part of like the whole media circus. Now.
Yeah, so like automakers, everybody is now using these hype trains to promote and push brands and things like this.
The glorious madness of Japanese Dodge
Dodge
Van
Van
racing. Oh wow.
Oh wow.
They got little tiny
Maybe it's
little
not
wheels on
drifting.
there.
It's actually wheel-to-wheel racing
Oh wow.
in Dodge.
I think I have seen this.
like real Dodge vans, not the
Yeah.
Fiat Dodge vans.
So
It's the
I
18.
believe what just kind of happened is I feel like these people were always doing these things. There were always these types of people, right?
Okay.
But as the cell phone matured, camera quality got better, the internet got faster.
Yeah, you didn't need like a video crew. With
Right.
You,
Yeah.
right?
Now anybody can post anything and there's something for everybody. There is some genre for everybody. There's some podcast for everybody. There's
It
some
really kind of democratized it, and
True. Yeah. Before it was just the magazines, right?
was
Because they
some-
had
Right,
all the
yeah.
right. There was
resources,
rules and
the-
regulations. Not anybody
and
was writing for Motor
manufacturers-
Trend.
And the manufacturers would only invite certain people to
Right.
drive the cars or take pictures of the cars or video of the
Right.
cars.
But now we can hop on TikTok.
but
And-
now with multiple revenue streams,
Are we talking about for automakers or
no, for
Influencers.
influencers,
Yeah,
and-
yeah, because like if you're constantly getting paid by all of your sponsorships, everybody who's doing something for you, and then also getting invited to every press media release, like and it doesn't. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't take much because it definitely takes consistency, but I feel like I'll hop on TikTok these days, and there's a multitude of people who do this, and they're getting press cards, and they're seeing people, and they're like hearing from.
I think
folks,
the
and-
biggest influence is the aftermarket.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the SEMA, I think it was the SEMA show maybe a year or 2 years ago where
Mm-hmm.
Toyota was really pushing the Supra. Or was it Nissan with the new new
Z,
Z
yeah.
or whatever? But they were like giving cars to people so they could build cars for SEMA.
Yeah, and that's
That
like
to
another
me-
thing. Yeah,
That to me is like from a YouTube social media influencing perspective is how the industry has changed.
Yeah.
Right? Before it was just like long time ago it was like Chip Foose, right? Chip
Right.
Foose is gonna make like the coolest hot rod and it's gonna use air ride and Elderbrock headers. Like that was the thing. But now it's like shifted
What was that show? No, not Pimp
on
My Ride.
TLC or whatever, or
Are
Discovery
you talking about the
Channel.
actual like Chip
Foose.
Foose show?
No,
It was like Hot Rod show,
It was
wasn't
a
it?
show where they like stole people's cars and rebuilt
Jeremy,
them.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Chip Foose was involved in it.
You're
Yeah.
asking me.
They
to,
would take the
no,
car.
I can see the
Yeah,
show.
they
So
took
they
the
would
car.
like
fix
it'd
it
be like
up.
the wife would be in on it. Whoever
Yeah.
would be in on it would be like, come get the car. They're gonna be out of town for
It
however
was
long.
it was like a Pimp My Ride concept, but it
cool.
wasn't with X to the Z exhibit. It was with like
Oh my
Hey,
god.
we're gonna
Foose.
put a fish tank in your truck.
Fish tank.
You
Bring
just got
back
a brand new ride.
bring back fish tanks in the whip and 47 TV screens. It's time, guys. It's
Dude,
time.
the best is like reading all the Reddit threads of like, yeah, I am the owner of the Toyota Sienna with the fish tank in it, and here's like
My horror story.
the trilogy of it. It's like it's
Hoovie's
leaked all
garage
over.
ended up with one of them. It was one of the
I think
vans.
Tavares
Tavares bought one of them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Did he buy
yeah.
it from Hoovie after Hoovie?
I have no idea,
it
Jeremy.
probably.
I
yeah.
don't know.
Those guys. So I watched a podcast recently. Doug DeMuro and God, I can't remember the guy's name. He's a financial like analyst guy, and they were talking about like the top YouTubers that are at risk of defaulting and going
Tavares
bankrupt.
was like number one.
Tavares,
Not defaulting.
Tyler Hoover.
Yeah, it was just buying too many cars and
Well,
just losing money on them.
I would like to think
Makes for great content.
it does.
But yeah.
I would like to think that-
Financial solvency 0.
well, we don't know how good they are with their finance because at least with me, or not with me, and my way of thinking, right? You get big on YouTube. I've seen people who get big on YouTube and they're really smart about
And you can't rely on the YouTube revenue.
Right.
You know,
No,
and
you
you
gotta
know,
have multiple revenue
you know
streams.
who's really good about this? The video game YouTubers. They have like degrees. They have things to fall back on. They invest their money in like other places.
stocks.
Yes, or
And-
the
and,
world.
like, they have next to no overhead.
Exactly. So they bank a lot of it. But
Yeah.
I mean,
are there
build
car
up your
YouTubers
computer.
doing that?
Or they
Yeah.
start like meme coins or Bitcoin and then
Right.
rug pull everybody.
Are there car YouTubers doing that? We don't know, but there are some out there. There are plenty of social media people who have started businesses, had businesses, were filming their own lives, and they were content with it and just kind of blew up.
Does
know?
YouTube like affect any of your stuff, like from a VW
All of
side?
Well,
I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, in what way?
I don't know, like in terms of like the technology in the car, or like how the cars are laid out, or even how the cars are like presented.
I mean,
it affects all of the automotive industry.
It's like it's wholesale, right? It's not just like one thing. It's like you get to see like, you know, trends. It's not just like one video. Like maybe sometimes it's one video, but generally you see like trends start to appear. It's like, oh, you know, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we shouldn't do that. And like, you know, it's
So it does influence your guys' work, right?
Well, yeah,
but to an
it
extent.
influences.
But like,
Yeah, it influences the whole car
Well, the big like
industry.
Subaru changed. They went from haptic feedback like buttons. They went to like real buttons now.
That
And the new
is
Forester.
because everybody on the internet is a bully.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly BS, but yeah.
Bullies.
Who would you say is the biggest bully YouTube? We'll start with
Reddit.
You. Who's the
who's
biggest
the
one?
biggest bully? You're making
Yeah.
me like call out somebody, man.
Why not? Yeah,
I don't know.
because I feel like they do like
Don't
a
feel
few of
bad.
these
I
guys
already-
like band together.
I
and
try not to like watch YouTube
bully certain
bullies. Is that too
manufacturers and
wholesome?
stuff.
Like,
Well, no,
I don't
It's
either
like-
because if they're
yeah.
talking too much
Yeah.
junk, my little heart can't handle
it's
it.
like, what am I watching this for? Am I watching this to like, you know, feel bad about a car?
I feel
Or,
like most
I'm
of
gonna-
the
I'm trying to choose like, you know, chase positivity. Like, what are the good things out there, right? Like, you know,
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out how to fix my Mercedes.
Exactly.
Basic.
I need
30
a
years old and
DIY YouTube tutorial how to put
Who's the Haggerty guy? What's his name?
Haggerty.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jason?
yeah, Jason Camisa.
Camisa, yeah.
I feel like he hates on everybody.
No. He does.
Well,
He's just a regular car guy.
No,
Have you ever talked to
He
him?
has extreme biases. Right, he thinks the VW Scirocco is literally the best car ever made.
I've never driven one,
it's-
so I
it's
It's a
can't say.
complete
it.
piece of shit, by the way.
But he's
It is
got
an
one that
absolute
he's had
shitbox.
since he was a teenager.
I don't care. It's a complete shitbox. And some of these guys, they actually move like used car markets, right? Like you'll have Jason Camisa talk about the
Doug
Doug Zamero is
Doug
probably
could
the most guilty
He
of
could
this.
him.
I gotta
You know what I'm
defend
saying?
Jason because
The car YouTubers will shift the whole market.
Like the thing
He's
is,
a hell of
in
a nice
person,
guy.
he's nice.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to him before, like just in passing, like, "Hey, Jason Camisa." He's like, "Hi," or
and he
whatever.
loves kicking tires.
Loves kicking tires. But once you get him in front of the camera, once you start getting him going, it's the bias. There's just too much bias.
Well, I mean,
I
to
feel
be
like it's just
fair,
being
I
honest.
expressed my bias at the beginning by saying I don't like whistling
Like-
diesel because I think it's
which
know,
is like everybody's entitled to their opinion, but when you start like
I can't fault
manipulating
whistling
used
diesel.
car markets, like to
Right.
me that's like a
Camisa's not-
big,
is
kind of
he
a big
really
no. It's
manipulating?
But
like
that's
a
not their.
little bit-
But okay, but here's the thing: it's not their fault, and I can give you a really good example of this. Let's move from cars really quick. Let's talk about music. Beyonce. So, so,
I thought this was a car podcast.
but no, I'm gonna get
Okay,
us
I
back.
hear
well,
you
we
out.
listen
I
to
hear
car
you out.
music in our cars.
One-
True.
but hear
big,
me out.
Big part of our cars, yeah.
Music. That's gonna be a whole nother episode. Is music and cars.
Okay.
Anyway,
Eastbound and down.
Beyonce. So it's not that Beyonce has an opinion. It's that Beyonce. Well, no, let me say this. It's not that Beyonce's opinion is moving the world. It's Beyonce's fans taking on her opinion that is moving the world, right?
Okay.
And not necessarily that Beyonce may have a bad opinion. Is that the interpretation of that amongst the masses has shifted a whole bunch of things. So back to car world and car YouTubers. So the reason none of us can get 240s from our grandmothers anymore is because of the internet. And everybody's like, oh, this is the best car ever made. And the Nissan
Yeah,
will
I
never
mean,
make another rear wheel
That
drive.
can be applied
anything,
to all
right?
kinds of like. I'll give you a perfect example, very similar
And now
to
they all
that.
cost $30,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the initial, like the drift, movement or whatever. It's like the drift tax. You can't get a 240 or whatever. I think the perfect example of that on the really high end is like Matt Farah drives an air-cooled 3.8, like a Singer car or whatever, and says, "This is the best driving car, this best sounding car I've ever made." And then you've got like 7 billionaires like, "Yeah, we want one."
Yeah,
and
but
we don't care like how much we're gonna pay for it. And it just like because a long time ago, like a Porsche 964 or even like a earlier like 70s Porsche was a complete piece of shit.
right.
A complete rust bucket.
When
but
the
then
long
this like
hoods started to go up,
yeah, but the
the
thing is,
midsize was like nobody wanted those.
and that's what I'm
Crap,
saying is
now
like
look at them.
a lot of these like influencer like
Yeah.
like I would say not even influencer like tastemaker like personalities like the Chris Harris's of the world of like oh the 6-speed in this is so wonderful and oh it revs to 9,000 RPM like bro like nobody can afford this but the problem is it shoots up the value
Of everything.
of everything else.
Everything
And
then
it's just-
becomes expensive.
Nowadays, it's completely unattainable. Perfect example. I've always wanted a Porsche 991.2 GT3 Touring. They used to be anywhere between $130,000, $150,000, depending on the options in the car. Now, you cannot get a Porsche 991.2 manual Touring for less than like $200,000.
I think that's just Porsche tax too.
No,
but it's
it's
the hype,
not.
man. It's the hype people.
Even the Porsche tax is out of control.
Well, it's all because of the
nuts.
hype people. It's
It's
because
crazy.
of the. It's because
like
of.
if I sold
Jeremy,
my
stick.
base model Carrera,
Even-
I could
even
not afford to buy another.
A Murcielago with a manual in it. Oh my God, it's such a unicorn. And people are doing swaps to it. And now people are buying swapped Murcielagos, like 6-speed Murcielagos for like $1 million. Like what? Have people lost their minds?
Yes.
Like
And
I
who's
don't
done the
what's going
swap?
on? Yeah, it's wild.
Your grandma in her garage.
Yeah, in her garage.
Anyway, no,
Are Honda Element people like this, by the way?
Honda Elements
like has
are going
Honda
in price,
Elements
unfortunately.
No, see, that's what I'm
But see,
saying.
it's a supply and demand thing. So as time marches on and we all get
Crushed,
older and
crashed.
yeah, so like there are fewer and fewer in nice condition, and as that happens, like prices go up. So like my car used to be worth like maybe $3,000. Now it's worth like $5,000.
because there aren't as many left, and it's just
Basically,
time.
But that's still like
Yeah.
a 20% move. You know what I'm saying?
But
like
yes,
$3,000
the
to $5,000,
internet-
that's money.
The internet does
Well, the thing
move
is
this.
to find.
I can't buy a Mitsubishi
find the
Evo
car
8 anymore.
at the bottom of its depreciation cycle that
Yes.
you know some influencer is going to lift up and buy it. then,
That's what I'm
right?
saying.
That's what I've done.
That's
Okay,
what I'm
okay,
saying.
guys, here we go. We're gonna start doing insider trading, and we won't go to jail
That's
like
what
Martha
it
Stewart
is.
did. So this is what we do. You pick a
We
car.
talk- the next modern classic is the Mercedes W140.
Let's
I'm
consider
calling it now.
the Mercedes.
but the thing is,
that's-
no, we gotta all go buy them first.
I've already got
I'm
mine.
not
That's
buying
why
it.
I'm
That car's
saying
such
that.
a piece of shit. No.
Then we hype it up. But you know what? That doesn't always work. And one car that I want to point out that didn't work for was the Maserati MC20. Brilliant car.
My
Well,
car's a complete piece of crap.
There's quality issues that might have.
Oh my god. There's quality issues with old
But
911.
isn't the
But
Ferrari-
somehow, Jeremy, they still cost $1 million, don't they? Didn't we just say every 964 is rusted out?
No, not.
Well, not
I mean-
everyone, but
Almost everyone. Okay,
see,
what
nobody's
car-
going to tell you that every single air-cooled Porsche leaks. They all leak.
And they all need head work.
What do they still pay $1 million for, Jeremy? An air-cooled Porsche. But they all leak.
They all leak, yeah. What car is like a sleeper car that is somewhat attainable that we could all like hype up and say, man, you know,
I mean,
it's got so much potential.
Modern, like the,
I don't know, modern. The
BRZ,
Kia Forte.
BRZ, BRZ,
BRZ.
or GT86 /
The kids
I mean,
already
it's-
like that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Something
kids are already
is
onto
it
that.
90? But I'm saying
I know, but
pre-2000.
when the kids grow up and
they
the
don't
kids-
like it
those
anymore.
numbers start to dwindle, the values of those will go up.
They already have.
I mean, it's you look at
the
at,
Hyundai Tiburon.
Oh my
actually-
goodness.
The Tibby.
I
The
wanted
Tib.
a
Tib.
Oh yes. I wanted a
I
Tiburon
was
so
gonna-
bad.
I was going to say the Veloster.
The Veloster, yeah.
Veloster in.
It's just like a weird looking Elantra.
But 20 years from now, we're
actually,
gonna look back and be like, everybody should have bought
the accent, though.
the little.
Is it? That's worse.
No, but you
car's
can't
such
lie
a
to me.
piece
The
of crap.
Tiburon,
In Europe, though,
the last generation Eclipse. While they're still
Oh,
cheap, guys.
third
While
gen.
they're still cheap. I don't even. First of all, I'm hyping this car up, and I've never driven
Should we
one.
be Eclipse crossed?
No, not that. Not that one. Not that one. I don't know. I need to go drive one. I should just buy one. I should just go buy an Eclipse.
Nissan
and-
Murano
Ooh,
Cross
can I have an
Cabriolet.
opinion and need some help? This is kind of like way off topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so a friend of mine, their car got rear-ended. The car is a 2011 Honda Civic, whatever, ELX. It's just a shitbox. With 120,000 miles on it. What should you do? Option 1, call your insurance, figure out a way to get it fixed, continue to drive the car. Option 2,
It's totaled, but
the
Yeah.
trunk won't open.
it's totaled. They're gonna total that
No one's
car.
gonna fix
Option
that
2.
in the U.S. In the U.S. Somewhere else they might, but not here.
Trade
Yeah,
trade whatever it is and get a new car, but the car can only be worth sub 15 grand.
That's fine.
Option 3, lease something.
Well, all right. So wait, put it in reverse for a minute. The people that rear-ended them, were they not insured? Or?
The person that got rear-ended was not at fault. The other person did have insurance.
Yeah.
So now they're going back, like the insurance companies are going to go back.
So it's gonna get paid
total
for.
it out. I would personally, if I were,
I'm going to wait till it gets totaled out.
If I
totaled out, right?
we're
You
in the
know?
market for like an EV or a plug-in hybrid or something, I would totally lease it because the technology is advancing too fast to buy
It
some.
depends on what
and
kind
I
of
speak
person they are,
from
too.
Honda
experience
Element?
because we
Should they
bought
get a
it.
Honda
They should
Element?
not get a Honda Element. So that
So what can you get for like sub 15K, 4 doors, not an SUV, automatic, preferred petrol or IC.
Another Civic.
You're just like
Another
talking about like a
Civic.
normie person car, basically.
Yeah, another
Like
Civic.
A
Yeah.
Hyundai Sonata.
A Hyundai anything. A
Kia
Kia
Forte.
anything.
Kia Forte.
A Toyota anything.
Toyota Corolla.
I would just say Toyota Corolla.
Think about-
'Cause
right.
It's like dead simple. There's nothing to learn. and,
A
like,
Camry.
But
like,
they're soulless.
That's the point.
but you
No.
don't need. But Jeremy, they don't
That's
need
literally-
anything.
Can I just comment
Yeah.
that every single Prius out on the 101 today here in Northern California, what is it with them and front bumpers that are like halfway ripped off? Like,
Is
go
it
look,
because
every
it's too
single
front?
Prius
Is it
that way.
because it's too far front and they
because
can't
people are
judge?
used to SUVs now, and like you go over the little like concrete divider.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
But it's
that's
every
just low
single
enough.
Prius. You
Yeah.
can
right.
see it on
It's
Civics.
just low enough where like when
It's
you
just ripping the bumper off.
Right. Like,
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, and like they're
Don't
held
pull
in
up
with,
so
like,
close.
like these these clips that are made out of plastic that break super easily. So like
It's not even held
a
in by
winning.
clips. It's held in by like paper clips.
Hopes and dreams.
It's
It's
not
held
like
on
a
by
winning
hopes
combination of
and
it.
It's definitely not
dreams.
built
Well, it
like a
just
Honda
seems like
Element.
it's the highest percentage of.
Is it just
Priuses
the
that are this way.
Priuses?
I think you could spend what was the amount? 11 grand, 10 grand, something like that.
15 grand is like the
15 grand
ceiling.
or less. If you just want a daily commuter and you
Yeah.
got to pay cash for it, you could get something I think with a lot more soul or
Something, yeah.
fun than a.
There was like a
Corolla.
Kia
No
Forte
offense to our-
Turbo whatever 4 line that had some
Yeah,
for like 17
something like
grand.
that.
And they work.
All right, back to the
Steer us back on topic.
Yeah, sorry.
So
Thank you for that. Yeah,
automotive
appreciate that.
YouTube and social media has done a number on the car market, and now we can't buy
In terms
certain
of
cars.
prices. Yeah.
Features. We can all attest to this. Tablets and cars are because of the internet. And people think that they want something, but they don't actually want it. And they're like, "Where are my buttons?" And then I challenge you, where are the buttons on your iPad? Does your iPad have dedicated buttons? I didn't think so. Do you complain about that? No.
I think like just the expectations are not in line because like the way that like I'm seeing most like car companies do like tablets in cars, it's like you see a tablet in the car and you expect it to work like an iPad or you expect it to work like a phone, but it doesn't. You have to do like all these weird motions. You have to tap and hold. You're just like, why do I have to learn all these new ways of interacting with it?
So
Right, like the expectations are not being like they're
Right.
not meeting up with like what consumers.
You're not
expect.
training the consumer basically,
Yes.
right?
But we talked about this. So the problem with cars today and the way the car market is kind of going with like all of this technology in cars is and all of these influence from the young children is they
Damn children.
those darn
The
kids.
stupid children.
As if I'm not a child myself. Anyway,
What comes after Gen Z?
Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha?
Yeah.
They're in college now, by the way.
They are in college now. My
Alpha's in
brother
college?
is in college, his second year.
Dude,
Wow.
Yeah.
stop.
We're getting old. Anyway, so what happened
For yourself.
I know. What happened what happened to cars? No, so cars are going the route of the cell phone when the iPhone first came out and Android popped on the scene. So what is happening is that the cars are getting these faster processors. They're trying to do the tablet thing. And they're trying to follow after the cell phone, but they're still stuck in the early like cell phone phases where every cell phone cell phone maker had a lot of bloat and a lot of like how the Samsung skin is laid over Android, right? So like all of these car makers are laying their skin on top of an Android OS now. Most
Yeah,
cars
the
are using
base.
Android
They're
OS.
mostly like going in that direction. But, like,
Right.
remember, like in the early days of iPhone versus like everyone else. Like,
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna throw out something very like vintage. LG Voyage. Does anyone remember that thing?
The LG Voyage.
What was it?
Exactly, because this was like it also came out like right after the iPhone, and like because people on Verizon couldn't get it, and it was like, oh, this is gonna be an iPhone killer. It has a keyboard, it has all these features, and
that's what it was.
nobody remembers it. You guys don't remember it.
Did it have like 9 cameras on it? And
No,
stuff?
it didn't. It's like
It wasn't a Nokia.
so it's just like we're in this weird phase where like things have to start homogenizing, or otherwise they're gonna die off.
Right.
Like,
So what's probably going to happen is the cars will become like iPhones, and everything will be
that's-
very simple, and they will all use the exact
no
same
soul.
system.
That's
and no soul.
depressing.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the same, but it's the same thing that's happening to the car YouTubers in the entire auto market.
All
Like,
becoming the same.
But how
everything
much-
is becoming one
how
big
much of that-
soup of LCL.
That's true, but how much of that is YouTuber influence, and how much of it is just the progression of technology?
It's a progression of technology.
And really, how much influence did Tesla have on all of this? From the get go.
Quite a lot,
Weren't they the
probably.
first with
Yeah.
a massive tablet?
They were one of the first, but it wasn't just that it was a massive tablet. It was an easy to use massive tablet.
Yeah.
They were the iPhone.
Right. So like
4
they had to
of
do all
the
these
cars.
steps to get to this point to be market leader in infotainment or whatever.
Yeah.
That's debatable, whatever. But they generally are setting the pace for the market, right?
Yeah.
In terms of how you interact with it and how other designs should follow. And that's sort of like where Apple is today, right? Like you see Apple do this one change and then everyone follows suit. And you don't see ASUS doing that, right? Like they don't do this one
think
change
it's
and
just-
everyone follows suit.
I think it's the nature of how Apple, I think specifically Tesla, organizationally how it's set up. Where in Apple, the people that basically make the major decisions are the designers,
Right.
UX and designers, and the engineers basically have to work around what their concept is and
Right,
try to make
right.
it work.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, but when Elon Musk took over Tesla is not, or Elon Musk is not the original founder of Tesla, by the way.
Right.
Very true.
Fun fact. But when he
People don't know
brought in-
that.
No, they
No.
don't. They
People-
don't.
I think a lot of
He
people don't
says
know
he's
that.
People don't know
I
that.
started Tesla. He didn't start Tesla. He was an investor, a very small investor actually.
Everybody
And he
should-
wasn't getting his car,
That
yeah.
should be fact number one of Google. Elon
The
Musk
Lucid
is
guy
not
was,
Tesla.
Isn't your Lucid person?
So Peter
Peter was a main
So I've heard.
powertrain, right?
Peter Rawlinson, I think, was the chief engineer on Model
yeah,
S.
yeah, Model S, yeah. There's a lot of different
Not
legends.
even
that
pre-Model
happened at
S.
Tesla.
We could go back to Tesla Roadster. Elon wasn't around back then.
My dad and I test drove a Tesla Roadster in
The electric
2010.
Elise.
Did it feel like a go kart?
Oh yeah, and we laughed our
Sound like a
asses off the whole
skateboard.
time. We had so much fun in that thing. Just
But
electric car.
going
right?
back to the Tesla thing is, I think from a UX, using that tablet, the people that designed that whole system weren't automotive people.
No.
They were just
That's true.
regular tech product people or whatever.
Right.
Right, they were very scrappy and
Super scrappy,
in
yeah.
the early days of the Model S. You'll see a lot of complaints about early Model S's that my screen is melting off because they use non
Off the shelf, right,
non
off the
automotive
shelf
grade
stuff,
components
yeah.
because that was all they had.
Yeah.
But now today you have suppliers that actually make automotive grade
Right.
displays and whatever.
Always running, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Always,
see, you have to have this one person set the pace, and then then
Everybody will follow
right,
suit.
and then you can start buying whatever. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck making it yourself.
When do you think that next jump is going to happen? Is
That's
that happening
really
already
hard to
now, or is it?
Well, what is the next jump?
Exactly.
What will it be? When is the next
Flying
jump?
cars. No. I'm talking
No,
junk. No.
The Toyota Mirai, the hydrogen
Mirai.
car.
No,
Mirai. Do you remember
no,
that? They got
those
one.
things are
They got
so-
one for sale at Lexus Saramonte for $14,000. You want to go get one?
I'd rather not.
Do you know how much hydrogen is per liter?
I saw a
$1
Hyundai
million.
Nexo for sale, a 2021 Nexo with whatever mileage. Who cares? $5,000.
Just like Nissan Leafs are $1,000.
Because where do you put hydrogen in it? There's actually a station right by my house, but it's
I thought they shut them all
the
down.
only one.
No, there's
No.
a few left.
There's a few.
But there's also if you think EV charging bad is hydrogen charging is worse.
yeah. Oh, much
hydrogen.
Yeah.
Hydrogen refilling.
One it explodes,
Yeah.
and then two, it's also ultra expensive now.
Yeah. But
Where do going back, what is the jump? Is it a technological jump? Is it a battery capacity jump? Will the cars get so cheap?
I think there's multiple jumps.
Okay.
there's a lot of different things that are going to happen. I don't
Depends
think
on what aspect.
Or is it
Yeah,
the
right,
BYD,
yeah. I
like
think
the
that's a fair
VinFast or
statement.
the BYDs of the world, where they're
Well,
they're
not-
just so cheap?
so. Let's
BYD,
let's
maybe,
transition.
VinFast, no.
Yeah.
Well, we can take a look at what's happening in China, right?
Right.
So in the last few years, we've seen basically prices start collapsing because of the price wars. And so ID3s that used to cost $30,000 there now cost 15 or 14.
Oh my
grand.
gosh, I didn't know that.
Because that I think was a big jump. And now you have all these everything has to move down market, and you still be feature packed, and margins are razor slim. If they're not even sold at a loss, they're just trying to survive. Because if you can't survive, you're not going to be in that market. And
Right.
At the end of the day, it's do you want to be there or do you want to pull out? Right.
Yeah.
So that's a very hard decision to make.
Yeah, and I think even just relating this to our early topic of YouTubers and how media has changed and how cars have changed. I think everybody's really just trying to ride a certain wave and keep up with one another. Even when it comes to producing a vehicle, because as we can see, how many of your favorite German automakers now have a panoramic display in them across the whole dash, including your American ones. That is quite the curve. Just like how many YouTubers are now all destroying cars because we think it's fun. Or everybody who's doing a rebuild on some Copart Ferrari. You know?
It's a lot of like one-upmanship, right?
Yeah, and everybody's like,
Yeah.
how can I one up the next person? How can I do it? I mean, you know,
like
even
an
us with
arms
our little
race, right?
podcast. But, you know, anyway.
But eventually, like, something's got to give, right?
Yeah.
Something's gonna break.
The economy collapses. Oh, what?
No, I mean, dude, there's stuff on the boat. They're sending it back. Like, they're not like Trump's gonna ruin Christmas for everybody.
I'm almost sure he is. But I mean, we're in a 90-day hole right now, right?
I'm not keeping up.
I'm not keeping up either. I clearly.
From a supply chain standpoint, for people that have to deal with supply chains,
Yeah.
it's gotten very, again, going back to 2016, it's gotten very complicated.
Yes.
I will say I'm taking advantage of it right now because my wife said, look, if you've got any projects on any of your cars you need to do, go buy the car parts now. So I
Yeah.
put in an order.
Oh, there you go.
I'm launching Project Reseal on the Mercedes.
Project
Reseal.
Reseal.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Because it drips transmission fluid on the exhaust from the top, and it drips oil and power steering fluid on it from the
jeez.
front. So every time you get out of it, it's like
Smells.
So
Yeah.
I'm carrying a fire extinguisher in the center console now, just for good measure.
Very
But I
So,
want to fix
trust
it.
me, it's not a race car, guys. It's just could explode.
No, yeah, it just.
It was a nice day, Jeremy. You could have drove the drop top or something. Or the 911.
Wait, how's the
I
boxer
drove the
run?
911.
Oh, you did drive 911. I thought you drove the Mercedes.
Did you have a problem with the Boxer?
Yeah, the Boxster has this weird thing in the oil temp display.
Right.
It kind of goes wild. It goes up and down. But I've run plugged my scan tool into it. The oil temps are drop dead fine. Like when you start the car and it's 60 degrees outside and the coolant temp is like 60 degrees, but the oil temp is 302, that's implausible. Something is wrong. But
probably
it's
bad
not the sensor.
sensor
I've
or a
replaced the
wire.
sensor. It's something else, and I haven't
Little
figured it out.
gremlin.
I need ChatGPT. That's what I
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Do
so we
we-
just we talked about the ChatGPT reading the
The diagnostic readout
Yeah.
to
So
tell them
wild.
exactly what it needed to do.
On the BMW, yeah.
Hey,
I'm gonna try that.
technology.
Try that.
I would do it. Technology. But
And
he
if it's
paid,
right,
he
then
paid
I'm-
for the good chat GPT
Oh,
to do that.
yeah.
the premium.
The
Yeah.
perm. But yeah. Influence on cars. What do we want to see happen to the car market? What's the next big jump that we want to see
I want
happen?
991.2 Porsche GT3 Touring manuals to come down by at least 50 grand.
But what would that take?
Like probably to your point, the economy imploding, right?
Or
So
a car YouTuber saying that they're actually crappy cars.
that too, or like they have a seal issue, like crank hub seal issue.
So now we come
after
with-
Like
like
they've got a bad
30,000
IMS
miles.
bearing.
That's what we need to do.
That's-
Yeah, IMS bearing.
Are you
And
just
to-
like
the
invent a
9
fake issue?
the
Yeah.
99
Like, you're gonna spread rumors and disinformation.
Guys, I just found
Isn't
out
that what
Goblin
the
living in a
government
government
does?
991.2 GT3 Touring, specifically the 6-speed GT3 Touring, has an IMS bearing issue, and Porsche refuses to do anything about it. The car needs to get recalled. It's horrible. Sell your car right now.
My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. But no, that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna
Yeah.
take some whirlwind of something. People falling out of love with Porsches, which I don't forever see that
And
happening.
996s are still relatively affordable because of it.
Or here's the miracle. Automakers start making cool, cheap sports cars again that
Yeah.
everybody enjoys.
I don't think they
Yeah,
ever
they-
will.
I-
No, I think
Which,
we're screwed.
unless the YouTubers and the Reddit people bully them to death.
We still have
I
the
don't
Toyota.
think it's gonna happen.
We still got the Toyota 86, right?
So if you really think about
What
it,
do we have?
We're
What do
not
we
like
have left?
I got you. So affordable is relative these days because cars are just expensive. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna list what's
fair.
fun
Yeah.
that isn't a 911.
Yeah.
So we have the 86
Yeah.
and the BRZ.
Yeah.
We have the Civic Type R, the
Yep.
Integra Type S,
Yep.
and the SI versions of both of those cars.
Those are fun.
So
Yeah.
front wheel drive, all wheel drive stuff. Golf R and GTI both still exist.
No, they're not that fun anymore.
They're still pretty fun.
They're
Like,
still
yeah.
it's peppy. We're relative.
The VW guys
Let
here.
me break out the Jason
issue with
Camise.
that.
No, guys, like it's all
my
flat
God.
screens. It's too heavy now.
Miata.
Miata.
There's always
Miata
the-
still exists. And it's convertible and hardtop form.
Evora doesn't count. It's too expensive.
Toyota Supra in automatic and manual. BMW
Z4?
Z4 in automatic and manual. The 400Z or Nissan Z, automatic and manual, which those are not affected by the tariffs at all. And apparently they're not a
Really?
good car. I don't know. I drove.
Z?
Yeah, I drove
I've never
one.
driven one.
I drove one recently.
They're
driven one?
I
no,
don't know.
I haven't, but they're basically repackaged 370Zs. They have the exact same door card.
Yeah, so it's
Are you
a.
serious?
Oh,
It's,
seriously?
it's pretty
Yeah.
much a manual.
That's a
here's
sign
the
of the
problem.
times at Nissan.
They listen to the enthusiasts.
always
That's
done
the
that.
problem, because enthusiasts are like, oh, don't change anything. Like, keep all the stuff that we want, and they did exactly that. And now look where we're at.
And look at that. The enthusiasts didn't
Won.
want the car.
Apparently,
The
I read the other
enthusiast
day
won.
it's outselling the Supra.
Yes,
like-
because there's so many incentives on it.
Yeah, because it's really cheap. I went and looked at
How much can
one.
you get?
yeah, how much
How
are
much
they?
can you get one for like 25 grand?
No, but you could
I'll
get one for.
buy one right now.
You could go get one for
But
38.
see, that was like the argument before.
You
It's
could
like,
get a-
why would I pay for the Z when I got a Super for the same price? Now, it's reversed. You've made the price for the Z lower.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because the
it
Z
more
makes more power. It has one more turbo and a more reliable engine, relative.
Then the B58, really?
It's a twin turbo Nissan V6. When have you heard of one of those blowing up? There's enough Q50s out there shooting flames to tell you that it's just fine.
Reminds me of the four-door sports car from the Maxima.
The
in,
Maxima,
like, late 80s.
how
early
many,
90s.
how
love
many,
the Maxima.
how many hot girls
love that
out
car.
there, teenage women, black and white, do you see mobbing
And
the
Latina.
heck
And Latina.
and
Especially
the
in Oakland.
chismosas? How many of them do you
Chismosas.
see out there in Nissan Altimas? You know who I'm talking about.
No, not Altimas. Altimas are
Maxima
Maximas.
is-
but Maximas.
But wait,
from the
let me
early
break it down,
90s.
Jeremy. Back in the day,
Altimas go down
Yo-
to 880 without their blinker.
but you had to
on.
have money. But you had to have money to have a
Without
Maxima.
doors.
Maximas wasn't what they were now. Back in the day, you had to
No,
have.
that's what I'm saying.
No, you had to have the funds to have a nice Maxima.
But this was all about the Nissan V6 that was
Yeah.
so robust.
The VQ, wasn't it?
have y'all ever
VQ
heard?
gang.
I ain't never heard of a Maxima blowing up. Okay, but Maximas don't have VQs, do they?
Do they? I thought they did.
Maybe they do. I don't know. See,
That was like the whole point of a Maxima.
I'm just looking at Z's right now.
but anyway, Altimas indestructible. I don't know what those girls do to those Altimas, but they're
That's what's
indestructible.
coming back. That's what's going to make the biggest comeback is an
Nissan
Altima.
Altimas.
Yeah.
we're all gonna be driving.
But
them.
they're all going to be mint. Like, they're all going to be
No.
perfect.
No, they're not.
Have you
They're all gonna be smoked out, stolen, beat to death.
Front
There's gonna
bumper
be-
partially ripped off, like all the Priuses on the 101. Right?
You know what's gonna be? You know what's gonna be
Here's the-
hot later? That
One owner, it's going to go across Barrett Jackson. It's going to have 2,000 miles on it.
One
It's going
owner.
to sell for 50 grand.
You know what that's
It's
gonna
going to
be?
sell for fucking
That's-
50. I shit you not.
It's gonna be
It's
the-
going to sell for 50 grand.
It's gonna be
People
the
are lose their
Nissan
minds.
Altima. It's gonna be everybody who had a Nissan Altima coupe and it was in red. Everybody who had one of those and they did not
Oh,
dog
that's
it.
a hot car.
Yeah, remember that?
You
That's a
were
hot
the
car.
baddest girl in high school if you had a red Nissan
Yeah, your
Altima
dad was
coupe.
rich.
Rich, okay, that or if you had a Jetta.
All right, what else for
I think Jetta was.
Okay, so reliable, quick, fun, minis. All of the two-door minis.
that?
No.
No, reliable.
Yes,
The new ones are fairly reliable.
I had
new
a
ones are
20.
fairly reliable.
James saw my Mini Cooper. My Mini Cooper was modded to all, ungodliness, and it never blew up. It had a JB4.
That we know.
I had downpipes. No, it never did. I bought it at 40,000 miles, drove it all the way to 120. Engine never hesitated. I misshifted it. Probably had like 100 over revs. Nothing.
Dude, there's 1,300 Nissan Z's for sale.
You should buy one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think the kids don't like it because they said the manual has rev hang. I didn't notice that, but every BMW has rev hang.
Yeah.
Back to reliable and fun. The new what else is out there?
Toyota Corolla,
The GR Corolla.
if you can get one.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
wish they sold the Yaris, the GR Yaris. Here.
Yes.
Two-door.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yours.
that
That'd be
was
cool.
a nice
That's
car.
kind of a neat looking car. I'm not a
Ford-
Toyota fan.
Do
I
they still
know.
sell
but-
the Fiat? The
the A-Bar?
A-Bar?
It doesn't really exist anymore.
No, Fiat is kind of like a
I mean, they sell one car, and it's the 500e.
E. That's it. They got absorbed into
Yeah.
the mess that is
The
Stellantis.
Chrysler 200 with the 6.
That is not a fun car. A 6-speed what manual?
Yeah, that's a Jason Camisa car.
The Chrysler
It's another
200
Jason
did
Camisa
not
car.
come in a.
He's like, oh my god, guys, you know what's a great car to
Jeremy,
or
hit
maybe
the
it was a Doug
internet.
DeMiro.
The
Maybe Doug DeMiro
Chrysler
said
200 did not come in a manual.
that. Yeah, they had a
it?
manual.
Are you,
V6.
wait, are you talking about the Misfire? Or I'm sorry, the Crossfire?
No,
Chrysler
Chrysler 200.
Like the sedan thing.
Yeah,
the event.
First of
Yes.
all, let's start with nobody
It was
outside.
either Jason Camisa or Doug DeMuro. It was like, guys, you know what's a great
If
car?
it sounds like that, it was Doug
Yeah.
Probably Doug.
But also, nobody outside of the
Detroit.
East Coast, Detroit,
Yes.
has seen a Chrysler 200.
Basically.
Have you say that to a Bay Area and they're gonna be like, what is
Everything that's
that?
coming up
What is a
is
Chrysler?
Chrysler 200 owner's manual. Maybe I should type manual transmission, not
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Owner's man.
Come on, Google AI, you can do it. I want another. My sister had a 200 and my auntie. They both had 200s.
The Chrysler 200, this is AI, Google AI. The Chrysler 200 was never offered with a manual transmission in
You
its
kidding me?
production lifespan. All 200 models.
See, James, over here falsifying information.
That's what I'm saying
Trying to
about
get us in
Gary Moore.
trouble.
A 6-speed or a 9-speed transmission.
People did
Were
not
those
like the
ZFs?
9-speed.
Yeah, they were like ZFs.
Yeah.
But nobody liked them.
Because like
When the car started getting more gears than we had fingers on our hands, it was.
Hey, there's
not
a Chrysler 200 forum. Am I the only one who wishes the 200 came with a manual transmission?
If you wanted a
Doug
manual
Gennaro.
Chrysler 200, you should have bought a Caliber SRT4. Thank
yes,
you very much.
the manual mode works fine for what this is, a mid-priced family sedan.
Oh, we had the little slapstick, Chrysler thing. Yeah.
How old is that? That's crazy.
That's like
Oh, that
15
dates
years
back
old.
to like
No, they've been doing that
to the
since-
90s.
Since the 90s, because you could.
The
'cause-
LH platform.
Yep, because it was really funny. My auntie, she had like a early 2000s, the first Chrysler 300. She had a Chrysler 300M,
Wait.
Chrysler
That was
300M special.
Not the first Chrysler. Maybe the first Chrysler 300 of the modern era.
Oh, the modern era.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you for helping me, Jeremy. I'm very young. But of modern Chrysler 300s, before they became Mercedes, that one also had the just random, you could slap manual,
yeah. Go
automatic
manual
in
mode or
2000,
yeah.
Well,
Well, but that started in the 90s.
wow. See, GM was on it. I mean,
Oh
not
my-
GM.
oh.
Chrysler was on it. I'm from Detroit.
Daimler
though.
Benz Chrysler.
That was before
Chrysler,
that.
The
That was before
FCA.
the merger.
yeah.
That was way. Let's just say Chrysler has changed hands.
What's gonna happen now? Are
With
they
what?
bankrupt or
No,
are
No.
they're no.
they getting bailed out again or what?
So
are they
when-
That's
That's given the
that's
brands, like,
GM.
years, like a set amount
And also
of time
GM
to
is
turn
making
things
a lot of
around.
money
If
right
you don't
now.
turn around, you're not killing.
Because the Wagoneer's not getting good like JD power reviews at all. Like none of the
I
none
love
of
the
them are-
Wagoneer.
It really
There's
doesn't.
none of
need
them
to.
are getting good.
What's wrong with it,
consumer
Brian?
reviews.
No, it really doesn't need to because like they're basically just rental cars. If rental fleets are buying them, it's fine. Like,
Well, not even that, but suburban moms, they ain't watching JD Power.
Yeah.
Mom, can I fit 6? They hit up the other moms. Hey,
and they're cheap too.
girl, can I put 6 chairs in this with the stroller and the basket in the back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just say,
Oh yeah, mom's ruined the car market.
the
y'all.
IQ, it's not big enough on the inside to do that. It's like Suburban sized, like Escalade sized on the outside, but Escalade
IQ?
IQ,
Oh.
on the inside. Sorry. Clarification. Cadillac Escalade IQ. Very, very large on the outside. It ain't holding like 6 strollers.
We don't
on
have the
inside.
long
It doesn't
one
really
yet.
need to, though,
It
because-
doesn't need to. It's a
because
different
the
car.
IQ is more of like.
luxury.
His Escalade IQ is more of like an airport car. You're just transporting people to and from the airport.
It's
or
an
from,
Uber
Yeah, but you
Black.
got
Yeah.
It is an Uber Black.
Yeah, like you're,
Can I get my
Where are you gonna put all the luggage
$150,000
like
Uber
if you're like
Black?
putting like strollers and like junk in the back, like you're probably buying like a GMT 800.
Did you open the trunk?
Hell yeah.
So
It does have a nice front.
if the
but
third row-
it's narrow, but it's very deep.
right, if the third row is down, then you have plenty of space in there because like I'm not using the third row when I'm transporting executives from the airport.
Yeah.
What if you have more executives?
Then you
Then
better
you-
hope they
Or
only
they
pack the
have
briefcase.
more-
You wouldn't be
roll-on
transporting
luggage.
executives from the airport in an Escalade IQ anyways. Wouldn't you be doing it in like an Atlas or something?
No. We own many
Urus?
brands for that. No, we don't use Urus's either. We,
No.
we
Q-
They pick him up in
We
the
use them in-
Lamborghini Revelto.
no we
All right,
use
there's gonna be another car you put your freaking bags in, and we're just gonna pick you up in the Lambo.
we just use
I don't know. Like we just had like the,
we use
the management
Q7s.
drive.
We use
and that was like a whole thing.
we just use Q7s.
Yeah, we use Q7s.
We use Q7s.
Ah, those are great,
Q7s.
yeah.
What did I say? Q8?
Same thing.
Yeah, but,
Same thing.
but less storage space.
Less, much less. Less headroom too.
Fair.
But yeah, cars and car people and bullies on the internet.
They are. I mean, dude, they just
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
the
some
bullies are
bullies
just
on
doing
the
it for
internet.
views, though, right? Like it's for content, it's for the algorithm, do it for the
Right.
algorithm.
But how
You
many?
gotta
So
feed the
before
algorithm.
we end, how many car auto manufacturers are just doing stuff for content? You know, how many gimmicks are in cars just for content? How many?
Everything BYD.
How many? Right.
The
so
car
that's
can jump
so
over potholes?
This is something that me and Brian have talked about. Is like the current automotive industry
That
is
might
being.
actually be really useful though on the 880s.
But you know who did it first? Ford with the Fusion. They
There's
had
party
they had
tricks.
like the pothole detection. I don't think they did it first, but they were like really mainstream with it. Because I remember when the Ford Fusion Sport of like the new like catfish looking Ford Fusion first came out.
Lexus does it
It
too.
had pothole detection, and it would like.
Mercedes as well.
But anyway, the Chinese market and the Asian market has huge influence on a lot of our markets, especially for brands that are mainly and primarily over there, including General Motors, because they have a big presence over there as well, to have all of these gimmicky things in cars. So now my car needs to have electronic door handles where the door handle either pops out or like presses, or it needs to do this fancy thing, or it needs to crab walk, or it needs to have these screens, or it needs to have like YouTube integrated, because China is such a large country and a large market and a large influence. You know, it's the name of the game to keep them happy, and we just kind of have to deal with all the extra. And the Americans like some of the gimmicky stuff, but
Like the Tesla, the X, like you can make it dance with the Falcon doors,
right,
like-
you know,
Oh, yes.
people like party tricks to an extent,
You
but
can-
the real car people just want the car to drive nice and feel right.
You can set the screen in a Tesla too to like holiday themes, right? And change like the cars next to you. And
I like a little
sleighs
gimmick.
and stuff.
You know, I like my Audis to project the Audi logo through the headlights when I pull up to it. I like that. You know, I like a little dance. You know, some drama. You know,
Yeah, but the Nissan Altima's got a little porthole where you can stick your gun out of it and shoot other people. on the
wait,
highway.
but wait.
Is
So
that where
does
the
anybody
side
remember?
mirror used to be?
Yeah.
No, see, that's what they were thinking
kidding.
about when they
Kidding.
made the Nissan Maxima Skytop, when they had the vertical sunroofs.
Yeah.
They were
They were fixed though. I don't think
built
They were
built
fixed, yeah.
built for RPGs. Anyway. Oh,
that was
goodness.
fun.
Yeah. So,
Alright.
name of the game. I think I'm gonna just title this episode "Under the Influence."
Yeah.
I like it.
No, the real title of the episode is Porsche 911.2 GT3 Touring has an IMS bearing issue that's hasn't been found
No
yet.
one should buy one.
Yeah, and they should all
Give
sell
them
their
all
cars.
back so we
At-
can go
at-
purchase them.
At 7,000 miles, it all goes bad from
Yeah.
there. So,
Well, guys, it's been the Mischiefs. I hope you had fun.
Thanks for joining
thanks
us,
for joining
Brian.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
Thanks for having
Brian.
me. This is super
Thank
fun.
you for.
yeah, we're gonna do it more.
We're gonna have you back.
Yeah.
You're gonna come back.
Yeah, you're gonna come back. Yeah,
I'll think about it.
bring the start. Bring some sponsors. Bring
Next
some more
thing you know,
Starbucks.
we'll have like everyone here. All right, guys.
That's
Bye.
the Mischiefs.
See ya.
Bye.